again. Welcome back to Inside Asia. Again, I have heard some of the state players in America, they try to promote peace and reconciliation in South China Sea. It seems like American government play like they are the peacekeepers. Is it true? Because
look at the conflict in the Middle East.
Yes, please.
Was there any peace in Afghanistan?
Yes.
Was there any peace in Iraq?
Yes.
Is there any peace going on now in Syria? What happened to Libya? What's going to happen next to Iran? Within the Middle East, I think it's a rivalry between Iran and Saudi Arabia.
Oh, yes.
Iran, as you know, Shia Muslims.
Yes.
And as for Saudi Arabia, which is the leader of the Sunni side, of the Muslims. So both countries, are trying to claim supremacy, over the Muslim world, with a population of 1.3 billion population, and Saudi Arabia is now siding with the UK and the US, whereas Iran, Syria, Iraq, which is also a Shia country. Iran, Syria are basically, being supported, by Russia and China to counter the influence of the US. So the situation that is developing in Syria, in the Middle East, and the situation that is going to develop in South China Sea, very similar and the same. You see that the major players are the superpowers rivalry over there, and the conflict within this region, carry very similar features. So we have to be very careful that the ASEAN countries should not go to war with the neighbors, because that will draw in the superpowers. And if this case were to be brought up at the level of the United Nations, it will be very difficult for Thailand or for the ASEAN to resolve the conflict among themselves.
And if this really happened, that people bring up this case to the UN Security Council or something, but still China and America are the veto states, and what would happen if this come up to that level? You have to understand that the United Nations has been in more favor of the US and the UK or the Western side, because it was a creation of the United States after World War II. So it's very difficult for the other side, like Russia or China, to manipulate the UN United Nations operations. So it will take it will take time. It will take quite a big challenge for the ASEAN countries and Thailand to really move forward within this conflict. So it's like bending with the wind, right? And how do we resolve these problems by good way of collaboration and also those peace resolution? Because it seems like if the conflict could not be resolved, the war would be happened. So is it inevitable, or it would be avoidable or not?
I don't know, but in the case of Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, and now Syria or Iran, the aim of the United States is for regime change.
Yes.
It's not about peace, it's about regime change.
Regime change.
And I'm afraid that if this policy is to be applied to this part of the world, I don't know whether they would like to have regime change in Russia or in China or in any member countries in the ASEAN, so that ASEAN as a bloc, back the superpowers on the other side, against China. So that might happen. So I think that's the risk that ASEAN, will have to be very, very careful.
So could we say that this is a big threat of ASEAN community in 2015 or not?
I think this is the most single threat, the most important security issue that is facing us. Number one is the disunity. Number two is the security threat from the outside.
Yes.
Number three, how to balance the interests of the superpowers.
Yes.
And number four, how to carry along, with the keeping the wealth or the prosperity within this region by balancing out the interests, with all the other parts of the world.
Yes, could you suggest some, practice suggestion? Because most of the people, mostly from the academic people, they just say,
First, ASEAN
yes.
should avoid being dragged into the conflict.
Yes.
Should not let any superpowers set up military base in their own countries. China should not maintain any military base in any countries in the ASEAN. ASEAN should not allow any other superpowers to use their soil, as military base. So that's number one issue, is to avoid.
But it already happened.
Avoid allowing ASEAN to be the battlefield. That's very dangerous, because once you bring in the war from the outside, it's very difficult to resolve.
So, but it already happened, like the
That's why it's not a smart move.
Yes.
That's why it's big. That's why a big mistake.
Yes.
I think so. At this point, Thai government will have to be very careful in allowing Utapao base to be used by any parties.
Oh yes, that means that is another.
That's the key point.
Yes, yes. So this is very important, because lots of people might think of just stop China, but we don't really see any sign of stopping the Western powers, and America seems to be very big role player in the Philippines. So if you
we have to understand
yes.
that we are just proxies.
Yes.
We are proxy countries.
Yes.
We can't. We don't determine the course of the major policies in this world. So we have to trying to move along very carefully. But the first thing that ASEAN will have to remember, it must not allow the region to become a battlefield.
Yes.
Avoid the mistakes committed by the Middle East.
Yes. This is the last question. From your experience, are there any hope to resolve this problem or not?
I don't think so, because it depends. It's beyond our ability. It's beyond our control, because it's a conflict mainly between U.S. and the Western world against China, Russia, in the other side of the world. So it is rising to challenge the West.
Yes. And what should be your suggestion for the next generation? We have to live until this end of the world.
We have to learn from history.
Yes.
We have to learn from our leaders, from our wise leaders, that we should not allow ourselves to be under the influence too much, from any rival powers.
And thank you very much for your talk with us, Inside Asia. Again, I hope to see you again for next topic. Again, this is all about Inside Asia tonight, and I hope you keep watching us. Good night.